Did you see the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami?
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
Up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go fair play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative.
Paul going into a fight with Anthony Joshua, to me, is absurd. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a legitimate two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He may have got destroyed by Daniel Dubois, but notwithstanding, there's nothing physically wrong with Anthony Joshua that he can't execute. Mentally, he might be in a little bit of a difficult position after the loss to Daniel Dubois. Jake Paul, if this is not going to be, you know, curated into a little dance around exhibition, could find himself in a way of getting seriously hurt here, like Francis Ngannou.
The highly awaited fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul has been sharply criticized by UFC President Dana White. He says the matchup is unfair and damages the credibility of professional boxing. White, who never avoids debate, said he doesn't believe it makes sense for a former heavyweight champion to fight a YouTuber turned boxer. His comments sparked heated arguments on social media, with fans debating whether the fight is a smart marketing move or a pointless event that makes the sport look bad.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your the same size.
White didn't hold back, saying Joshua versus Paul doesn't make sense in boxing and could set a bad example where fame becomes more important than skill and experience. He said these celebrity-style fights may bring high pay-per-view numbers, but they also risk turning boxing into entertainment instead of a real athletic contest. Eddie Hearn has now confirmed that the Joshua versus Paul fight will be a real professional bout, not an exhibition. This raises the stakes much higher than many expected. What started as a fun idea has turned into a serious event that could affect both fighters' careers. Hearn said Joshua is training as if he's facing a top contender, not a crossover star. He also warned that Paul may not understand how dangerous this fight is. The fight was moved to December 19th after Tank Davis withdrew, creating huge buzz across the boxing world.
There's people around him that will be saying to him, mate, Anthony hasn't boxed for a year and a half. Mate, Anthony got dropped in his last fight. Anthony's head's all over the place. He's gone. So listen, fair play. If he steps up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go fair fucking play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative, but it would be a dangerous one. If we're offered it, and the money that I know is inevitable in a fight like that, it would be very difficult for us to turn it down. And I know some people will find a reason to not like it and moan, but I'm just going to give it to you straight always. We were going to have a run out this year in an 8-rounder against someone in the top, I don't know, 120 on BoxRec that you've never heard of. We could have a run out against Jake Paul, end him in boxing forever, get rid of this whole little silly thing, and make about 50 or 60x in the process. How can you turn it down? So if it's real, there is a chance. Jake's won fights that I didn't think he'd win. And Jake has got a lot better over the last couple of years. He ain't in Anthony Joshua's league, that's for sure. The only way this fight happens, if it's a fight, it's a sanctioned fight. I mean, ultimately, it's a cruiserweight stepping up to fight a heavyweight. I mean, previously, what did you have? You had a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, but that was an exhibition. This is no exhibition. This is the 10-ounce big boys, and this is a real fight. We've already really got our plans with Turki Al-Sheikh for 2026, which is ultimately to fight Tyson Fury, but also to have another fight in February. We got the phone call to say, look, obviously Gervonta's out, would you be interested in December? And the only other options we had for December was to do an 8-rounder on a card somewhere, which I didn't even know was going to happen. So I said to Nikisa, if you're truthful about this, which he assures me Jake is, then it could happen. So let's live in the real world, yeah? And let's just, everybody stay calm and make logical business decisions. What would you do, right? And please don't give me the, yes, but you have to think about the legacy here. You can't eat legacy, and legacy is so important. By the way, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. The legacy's okay. I wouldn't let him not take this fight. I would push him in the ring to take this fight. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Just relax. One, I don't even know if it's going to happen. Two, if it does, just relax. Enjoy us going in there for boxing and sticking one on his chin. We'll go back, we'll fight Tyson Fury, etc. So just relax. But how can you say no? How can you say no? What am I missing?
After his easy win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul revealed that his long-awaited fight with Anthony Joshua was supposed to happen next year. But after his fight with Tank Davis was cancelled, the showdown was pushed forward. It will now take place next month, on December 19th. The sudden change added even more excitement. Fans and critics are questioning whether Paul is truly ready to face a former heavyweight champion, or if the rushed schedule is more about hype than competition.
And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
Now, I know you're after a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been floated about. Is there any other fighters who may not be world champions that you're looking to face?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua.
I think that's the main one that, we've talked a lot about is if it's not for the title, it's looking at Tommy, if he's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. And he's adamant that he wants to make that fight happen at the end of 2026.
Anything's possible. And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
The highly anticipated exhibition fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, originally set for November 14, 2025 in Miami, has been officially cancelled due to an ongoing lawsuit and investigation. Most Valuable Promotions released a statement saying they will not proceed with the event at this time because of the seriousness of the situation.
It was supposed to be boxing Gervonta Tank Davis, a man that weighs 133 pounds or 135. Regardless, it's a man that is way, way smaller than Jake Paul. So that is just ridiculous, and I've given my thoughts on that before anyway. But now it turns out that Gervonta Davis has some allegations about domestic abuse. I don't know too much about the situation, but apparently Netflix have pulled the plug on that fight. It says, here's a tweet I'm reading from Mike Coppinger. As reported, Jake Paul's return could shift to December, with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources tell Ring Magazine that December 12th and the 19th...
Courtney Roselle, Davis's ex-girlfriend, has filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of an incident that she says took place on October 27th at the Miami nightclub where she works. In her filing, Roselle accuses Davis of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional emotional distress. She claims Davis dragged and assaulted her in several areas of the club, including the kitchen, garage, and stairwell. Police in Miami Gardens say the investigation is still ongoing alongside the legal case.
Boxing champion Gervonta Tank Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend. This is according to our media partner, the Baltimore Banner. Courtney Russell says she dated Davis for 5 months and recently filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and other offenses. She claims Davis physically attacked her a number of times during their relationship. Russell claims the most recent incident was Monday at a Miami nightclub. Davis is scheduled to fight Jake Paul in Miami on November.
Many people in the boxing world are shocked that Jake Paul called out Anthony Joshua, a two-time unified heavyweight champion. Fans are surprised that Paul, who has limited boxing experience, would make such bold claims about Joshua.
Has just called Anthony Joshua out. Yes, Anthony Joshua, AJ, the two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. This brother called this man out. Oh my God. Now, in a recent clip on Jake Paul's podcast, I think, he basically said that he will beat Anthony Joshua's ass and he has no skill, no chin, and he's too stiff for him. He also apologized to Anthony, saying, Anthony, I'm sorry, we're friends, but I know I can beat your ass. This guy is tapped in the head. Then again, he almost got a fight with Tank. If Tank beat Lamont Roach when they drew, he would have fought Jake Paul. It was lined up, basically. A lot of people get mad when people say he's the face of boxing. These highly rated boxers want to fight Jake Paul. So, I don't know what to say, honestly. But one thing for sure, AJ will never fight. AJ is too classy for that. Way too classy. He respects the sport of boxing too much to fight this guy. Absolute plonker. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and make sure you follow for the most up-to-date and sharpest.
MMA fighter Anthony Smith has commented on Jake Paul's boxing approach, saying Paul targets famous fighters to secure big paydays. Smith argues Paul uses trash talk to push well-known athletes into high-profile fights that earn huge attention. Boxing fans have criticized Paul for choosing opponents who are often older or inactive. Smith's comments match what many fans have said about Paul's matchmaking strategy.
Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva. We should all fucking boycott the rest of his fights until he fucking fights someone that's on his level or whatever level we deem him to be on. You talk all this shit about MMA fighters. You talk shit about the UFC. Then you pretend that you want to bring fighters up and you want everyone to get paid better, but then you trash everyone every time they fight. Now we're putting food on your fucking table for you to drag our legends, older, shorter, smaller, past their prime legends that have spent their entire careers running their bodies into fucking car accidents. And then we hold these guys near and dear to our heart. And then this fuckhead just pulls them out of fucking semi-retirement and then just knocks them out in fucking pay-per-view and then still shits on all of us. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, why are we still fucking...
Along with boxing, Paul has said he also wants to fight MMA star Conor McGregor. Paul claims his skills are improving, while McGregor's abilities are declining with age. Many people doubt these claims because of McGregor's long history in combat sports. Paul's comments show his confidence and his strategy of calling out big names to increase his profile in the fighting world.
I think he has to come back and fight, but he needs to win.
Will he fight you?
I don't think he will. I think my skill level is outgrowing his in boxing, and I have the height advantage. He can't beat me, and I think he probably knows that. And time, he's only getting older.
A large number of fans are excited for Joshua versus Paul because they believe Joshua will dominate Paul and expose him in the ring. Paul has become one of the most controversial names in combat sports because he constantly calls out top fighters and claims he can beat them. Many think his belief that he can defeat Joshua is unrealistic, given the huge gap in experience, skill, and size. Still, the possibility of the fight has created massive attention.
Got to be taking the mick. Jake Paul has called out Anthony Joshua and claims, "I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass." You know what? I want this to happen, just so Anthony Joshua could just absolutely decimate this man right here. So first he fights Tommy Fury, a legitimate professional boxer, and he loses. Then he fights an OAP and Mike Tyson and beats him. Obviously, he's nearly 60 years old. Then he goes to try and fight Canelo, which fell through, thankfully. Then he tried to fight Tank Davis, which again fell through. And now he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, a legit world-level heavyweight boxer. Anthony Joshua is someone that I've always looked up to and probably one of my favourite boxers to this day and age. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind Jake Paul here and there, but there's just things he does in the sport that I don't agree with at all. And fighting Anthony Joshua, listen, I'm all here for it, just to see him get knocked clean out. The fact that he thinks he can compete with these high-level boxers, even though he lost to Tommy Fury, is just laughable. But how long does it take for Anthony Joshua to knock Jake Paul out?
Frank Warren has reacted strongly to the news that Jake Paul will fight Anthony Joshua, calling the fight a circus pretending to be boxing. He questioned why a former unified heavyweight champion would fight a YouTuber turned boxer. Warren said the fight is driven by money and attention, not competition. He admitted Paul has improved, but he believes Paul is not close to the level of a top heavyweight like Joshua. Still, he acknowledged the fight would draw massive global interest and huge pay-per-view sales. He said the matchup may be entertaining, but it isn't quality boxing, and warned that too many fights like this could turn the sport into a show. Eddie Hearn recently said Anthony Joshua was injured and wouldn't be ready to fight until at least August, which originally delayed the Joshua vs. Du Bois fight. This update has raised doubts about the new fight date with Jake Paul on December 19th. Fans are questioning if the December fight is realistic if Joshua is still recovering. Some believe Jake Paul used Joshua's name knowing he might not be ready, using the situation for attention instead of a real fight. Others think Joshua may return sooner because of the major financial incentives involved.
But we've heard absolutely nothing about it. Now, the Daily Mail are saying that Anthony Joshua is actually injured. Return timeline: as Eddie Hearns reveals, the heavyweight is unable to enter even training camp due to an injury setback. Anthony Joshua's estimated return date has been detailed after Eddie Hearn reveals the heavyweight has suffered from a setback. The Brit has been out of action since he lost against Danny Dubois in Wembley last September. With his future up in the air on the back of the devastating knockout defeat, fans have been curious to know as to what his next move is, with no announcements made despite reports he could face longtime rival Tyson Fury as soon as this year. Now, however, it's been revealed that Joshua is dealing with an injury, as revealed by Eddie Hearn when asked if Joshua could face Dubois in a rematch after the champion pulled out of his fight against Joseph Parker due to illness. Let's carry on. That's kind of a bit more of a miscellaneous stuff. No rematch with Dubois will be happening anytime soon, though, Eddie Hearn revealed, as he details when fans can expect Joshua's return to the ring. So we won't be seeing Anthony Joshua in the ring against Daniel Dubois for a rematch. That's not going to happen. I'm going to quote Eddie Hearn here directly. Now, it's interesting because Eddie Hearn hasn't really revealed much detail on it, but bear with me. It says, not a lot to report. Not a lot to report. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn told IFL from Australia, look, he resumed training, and to cut a long story short, without going into too much detail about any injury, he's not really ready to start camp. He needs another 8 weeks or so.
Veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora has said that giving Jake Paul a WBC ranking would insult the sport. Chisora said real boxers spend years fighting tough opponents to earn rankings, while Paul has only faced unranked or past prime fighters. He accused WBC president Mauricio Suleiman of putting money before honor and called it a disgrace. Chisora said rankings should be earned through real competition. Anthony Joshua has also commented on Paul's rise in boxing. Joshua agreed Paul lacks full boxing experience, but said Paul has helped the sport by bringing in new fans and big money. He said Paul is taking big risks and learning fast by jumping into tough fights. Joshua acknowledged Paul has praised him in the past, even calling him one of his favorite fighters. But Joshua also noted that Paul's recent negative comments reflect his frustration with boxing politics. Paul claims he is the only fighter bringing excitement and life to the sport.
I've been wanting to see happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the United... Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight, and what I mean by that is politics. People trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money, get in there, make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight.
Is this a real boxing match, or just a money event that doesn't respect the sport? Share your thoughts below.